Hello! Okay, so today I want to share how to talk to someone who is depressed. So lately I've kind of been noticing this reoccurring theme both online and offline of people who are either depressed and nobody wants anything to do with them because they're negative and they complain too much or they're unpleasant or they just don't like being around them. Not even on social media. And I've also noticed there are people who complain about negativity and depressed people and how they don't want to be around them or talk to them or hang out with them. I have someone in my family actually, and their friend is going through depression, and she basically openly said that she doesn't want to hang out with her because she's depressed and she's a buzzkill and she's no fun. And that is just no, that's not that's not how that works, guys. Sorry. Um, so, that being said, so yes, depressed people can be unpleasant to be around. Obviously, because it's unpleasant to be depressed. Someone who broke their arm or injured themselves or have mono or are sick might be unpleasant to be around because they're in pain, but that doesn't mean that we don't go visit them at the hospital. Guys, okay. So yeah. Depression can manifest itself in many ways, and it's different for everybody. Some people might get really negative, some people might get really whiny, they might complain about everything, they might criticize you, they might be angry at you, they might have a negative response to everything you say. Everything. And some depressed people, you might not even be able to tell that they're depressed. Everybody's different. So that being said, people who are depressed, their minds, they're basically smothered in a cocoon of just negativity and hopelessness. And it's not their fault. They can't control it. Depression isn't something that people can just snap out of. It's a daily it's a daily struggle triggered by life events or a biological imbalance. And in order to get better, the depressed person will need to learn how to reprogram themselves cognitively. Which is a huge challenge considering that people who have depression have no motivation at all. None. Hardly any. They can't even get out of bed. So I don't know how they're going to do all these things they need to do to get better. Not that I'm saying they can't, because they can. It's just really, really hard. Probably one of the hardest things they will ever do in their whole lives. But that doesn't mean they can't do it. Okay? Anyways. I'm trying to stay on both sides of the spectrum for the depressed and the people associating with the depressed. I'm trying to explain both sides, and in the process I don't want to invalidate anybody, so bear with me. Okay. So keep in mind that your depressed loved ones aren't thinking like you do, so be careful of what you say and how you say it. So I made this mistake because I haven't been severely depressed for a long time, and I kind of forgot aspects of it and what it feels like. So this was my mistake. And as someone who has been depressed, I still have trouble talking to people who are depressed, so I can't imagine how difficult it can be for someone who's never had depression. I can't even imagine how hard that is for them. Okay, so avoid invalidating them. Avoid invalidating their feelings. Let them feel their feelings. This might sound really weird, but depressed people want to feel that way. Like, they don't want to feel that way, but they want to feel their feelings. It's natural to want to feel how you feel, but with depression, there's this huge shame in it because you feel like you should be happy, but you're not, and you feel horrible. And you kind of want to feel horrible because your mind isn't letting you see that there's hope, that there's hope for a better future, that there is a future, that there are good things. Your mind isn't letting you see that. It's like there's this fog or this darkness where you can't see anything good. So why would you feel good? But at the same time, you know that you should be happy, that you want to be happy, but you just can't. And it's like this huge struggle, and you feel depressed, and sometimes you don't know why, and you want to let yourself feel your feelings, but you feel like you shouldn't, and you should be happy. So there's this huge shame along with your depression. And then other people come along and they make you feel more ashamed by saying things like, it could be worse. There's children starving in Africa. You haven't even seen the worst of life yet. Life is just going to get worse. You haven't seen anything yet. You have a home and food and clothes and people who love you, and there's no reason that you should be sad. It's invalidation is everywhere. So you don't want to do that to them. You want to listen to them. You want to validate them. You want to listen to how they feel. You don't want to tell them that they shouldn't feel that way. That's not what you want to do. And if they don't want to talk, if they don't want to share their feelings, you should respect that too. You should respect their space and them not wanting to talk about their feelings. And that can be really hard too, especially if you want to help them. Avoid saying things like, just stop being sad. You can't worry. You can't do that. You can't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. You can't worry like this. You can't think that way. I probably already said that. Don't say stuff like that. That isn't helping them. That's making them feel worse. because people who have depression or anxiety have no control over it. None. That's why they're depressed. That's why they're anxious, because they haven't learned how to manage it and how to control it. And you sitting there just telling them you can't feel that way, you shouldn't feel that way, you can't worry that way, don't be anxious, that's not teaching them how to control it. That's not showing them how to control it. That's not helpful. That's damaging. That's damaging your relationship. That's isolating them. That's making them feel like nobody understands them. So please do not make statements like that to them. Don't remind them it could be worse. Don't tell them to stop complaining. Don't tell them they're negative. They know they're negative. Don't tell them that they just need to exercise or drink tea. That's not... No. What you want to do is you want to empower them. You want to motivate them. You want to show them how to cope with it. You want to teach them how to cope with it. Don't use statements like stop thinking that way. Show them how to stop thinking that way. You're being lazy. You don't go tell someone to perform heart surgery and not show them how. Another thing is, depression isn't like being sad. Something that really hurts me is when I confide in someone about my depression and then they share with me how they've dealt with their sadness that they had for a few days, and I feel completely invalidated and I feel misunderstood. Depression isn't just being sad for a few days. Depression is feeling hopeless and guilty and ashamed and anxious and paralyzed and mad at yourself for being that way. Depression is wanting to do things but not being able to because you don't feel like it. You know what you should be doing, but you are not able to do it, and then you feel extremely ashamed, guilty, powerless, and hopeless. You don't understand yourself. You don't understand why you feel that way. You feel like you should be happy, but you're not, so you feel guilty, which makes you feel worse, so then you feel bad about feeling bad. Meanwhile, you have all these people around you trying to help you. You know they care about you and you know they love you, but they keep making these stupid ass fucking statements like, stop worrying, quit being anxious, just think positive. That's not how you fucking help somebody by saying things like that. You think you're helping them? I'm getting a little angry, but you're not helping them. That's not how you help someone who's depressed, okay? So if you do want to help someone who's depressed, these are things you should say. Tell them that you are there for them and that they are important to you and that you care about them. Tell them, I can't even begin to understand the pain you're feeling, but I want to be here for you and I want to help you. Don't quit hanging out with them because they're negative. Hang out with them and show them how to be positive. Get them out of their house. Give them a reason to get dressed. Give them a reason to be happy. Act silly around them. Try to transfer some of your positive, happy energy to them. Get them pumped up. Get them excited about something. Remind them that they can do anything. Remind them that they are powerful. If they get out of bed and get dressed and go to work on time and come home, tell them that you are proud of them for doing that. If they drive somewhere that they've never been and they were scared and they did it, tell them that they are a fucking indestructible master. If they feel bad that they cried or they got anxious or they were scared, tell them it doesn't matter that happened because they still did it. Motivate them, empower them, make them feel powerful, make them feel like they can do anything. Show them that you're there for them. Teach them how to think positive. Don't just tell them to think positive. Don't tell them it could be worse. Let them feel their feelings. Show them how to appreciate the little things in life and how those little things can make them happy. Ask them what makes them happy. Find out everything they love and do something nice for them. It's not that hard. If you see somebody who is depressed, even if you don't know them, you have almost a personal obligation as a fellow human being to try to help them. If you see someone crying on the street, don't just walk past them. Especially if it's someone you love that you live with. You'd think you'd want to help them more than anybody else. Yeah, so that's basically it. Sorry if I got a little too passionate there. So yeah, if you're depressed or you know someone who's depressed and you need help and you want to talk, if you feel misunderstood, if you feel like you're making a depressed person feel misunderstood, add me on Facebook. Come talk to me. I'm here to help. I hope. Okay. Bye.